Happy Halloween. Smoke gets in your eyes. I feel a little bit like a nun. None whatsoever. Read that book, Isidore's Secret, where the nun gets bashed in the head with a shovel several times and buried in the church basement by the cleaning lady. Oh. But in the book, it speaks of how all the nuns had a little pocket thing, novel, little book, little rule book that they carried with them all the time, called the Nuns' Rules. And one of my favorite things about that, see, the woman who wrote the book about this nun getting murdered out near my hometown, relatively close, spent enough of time there in that region. She had come across in like a garage sale or something a copy of the Nun's Rule, and she used quotations from it throughout when writing the story about the nun getting fucking bashed in and bink! Shovelhead. Engineer. One of the things they said in the Nun's Rule, the booklet, was a nun shall never look hurried. And I thought about that. Oh, I remember all those nuns. They were mean as all get out. But moving really slow about it so you could suffer the fear longer. They suffered little psychic vampire bitches. Sucked their fear out of them, and it made them strong for God. I remember Sister Mary Edwards, and I'm like, holy crap, the one they called Darth Vader, clapping and snapping and amount of times to sit down and shut up, you know, in church, genuflect, sit down, stand up. She's clapping and snapping her fingers and moving really doom, 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 doom. That George Lucas guy or whoever wrote the soundtrack for that goddamn Star Wars movie must have been a Catholic school survivor. Because it is just the right rhythm for Sister Mary Edwards. Just cold-faced. Like this, without any lipstick. Lipstick is the word I was looking for. You heard me say makeup because your mind was going that way. You were reading what I'm saying, even though it's through the ether. And so you think about all these nuns that were nurses. That was their thing, right? Be nurses and help people so you can torment them even stronger in their final fucking struggles. Well, you look at a nun today, see how they don't act like they're moving very fast. All it takes is one rotten shit fucking group of people, an arranged virgin, they're fucking Jesus. That's That's the only one they'll ever give it up to. And he's not there to help. They changed the way somebody that wanted to help someone, they just move slower. They don't care. They don't care. And so it's all falling apart. And so it's almost a bit like chaos. You know what I like about chaos? It's there. You die. My head feels funny. Is my hair getting thin? Take it off, baby. I say Happy Halloween, Part 2. You see this? This means you're not watching the Judas Resurrection anymore. This means you're listening to 90.5 FM KSJS San Jose Halloween Show Part 2. Travel to the far corners of inner space with Carl Winters as he gives you jazz in all of its colors. Every Saturday afternoon from 2 until 6 p.m. on your flagship station for jazz. 90.5 FM KSJS. Hey, Kurt. You're gonna see me come and go. You're gonna see me wandering around. This is a show from, I think, 1998, I don't know, 99. 99 had to have been. This is the other side of the tape. It's one of my air checks. I used to keep them when I got them. Because some things, if you're not ready to move to the next level, you gotta keep them long enough to remind you that maybe it's time to move to the next level before you burn it all. But isn't sharing a virtue? Go get me another sandwich, you fat ass. What do you do here anyway? Well, I know how to use the replicator. He's always replicating women that he had on prior episodes backstage. Anyway, there's that. Are you out of your mind? Yeah, all right. I don't know where the hell we are. I'm probably gonna get kicked off the air after today, but gotta get the Halloween stories out there, you know, scare the kids. Hell, one time at Michigan State, they had little kids come through. We're doing community events. Bring the children through. You guys got candy? All right. Just get a couple bags. We'll get the kids through there. All right. So I dress up and this damn gas mask and this parka thing, you know, like desert parka from the Gulf, you know, boots. And I'm just like sitting in this chair, and this little kid comes around. Everybody's like, okay, you hear him coming from door to door, and I got the spooky Halloween soundtrack going. I don't know where that thing is. I looked all over for it about 2 this morning, couldn't find it, but that thing's going, yeah. You know, people digging graves and spraying maggots down holes and things like that, you know, things fight. That thing, chains clanking and stuff as this kid's coming up. And as he walks around the corner, I'm just standing up. And the kid's like, ah! They're trying to get away, and this woman's holding him. It's okay. And I'm coming, it's okay. And I'm trying to calm the kid, but here I'm coming at him even, you know, That kid, I'm telling you what, I think I gave him nightmares. I thought about going down and following their cars home so I could see where that kid lived and be laying under his bed when he went to sleep that night, start shaking it. I figured I'd probably go to jail for something like that. But, anyway, I killed Jason once. I'm gonna tell you what, out of all the people that I've killed in my dreams, he may be the hardest. He keeps coming back. He was in my high school, you know. So there I am, dealing with Jason. I'm walking down the halls and I see him and he's just looking at me. And I'm like, this is nice. I got this damn psycho killer going to my high school and he wants to kill me. So, next thing I know, I'm running through the woods and stuff. Down by the lake, out back behind the high school, there was a spooky lake back there. Not the cesspool, that was off by the middle school. But, I'm out by this lake, and he's after me, chasing me, and I'm coming up this hill, you know, you're trying to climb up through, what is that? Detritus and hubris and all that stuff, you know, just leaves and stuff, and you're going up the hill, falling and stuff, and he's getting right up on me, and I said, what the hell? I turned around, and I got up, and I gave him a damn drop kick right to the head. That head went flying down into the lake and exploded, man. I was like, yeah! I vanquished the enemy. So I go to the party, you know, that's on the other side of the hill. I'm at the damn party, and it turns out to be, what? Jason's birthday party. Everybody's like, eee! And for his birthday gift, they give him me to fight. I'm like, what the heck? You know, I just fought him over there. And so now I got to fight this guy again. And he's a monster, literally. I mean, he's a monster, right? And he's coming at me, and he's overpowering me and wrestling and fighting and stuff, and I'm on the ground. I said, you know, there's only one way. He's got me in a stranglehold. He's killing me, you know. Can't breathe. And I shoved my hand up. This is a desert dream. When I was in the Gulf War, I had a lot of very vivid dreams. I feel a lot of things in my dreams anyway, pain and sex and all that stuff, but they were very, very realistic when I was over there. Because I wasn't drinking, you know. I was cleaned out, clean system, really receptive to things. And I reach up and I stick my third and fourth finger into his damn eyeball sockets. And he's like, ah! And he started calling foul, like I wasn't allowed to do that, you know. He's sitting there strangling me. He didn't even have an arm in that hold. He was strangling me. And I stuck my fingers in there, crammed them up into his eyeballs and started wiggling them around, twisting them. And I could feel his eyeball, you know, the optic nerve, spindling around my fingers. It was all grimy and gooey and stuff, and all of a sudden, boom, his head exploded again. I win, right? I'm in my truck, it's dawn. I'm driving my truck past the high school, and I go by, and there he is, standing there with his thumb out, hitchhiking. So he's still out there. Never killed him rightly. But, I did kill Henry Rollins. That was a dream where I was just walking through the countryside, like out by where my mom lives. Grew up, out in the sticks.
walking down the dirt road, and I'm going around this house, and he's in there, ah, tearing stuff up. Henry Rollins in this little shack, you know, tearing things up. I'm like, we better just skirt the area, you know. So we go around, and here he comes running out the back door at us like a damn bull charging. I picked up a beer bottle, whoo, I hucked that thing at him, bing, hits him in the head, bounces back, and I run over and I catch it again. Whack! I hit him in the head again with it. It breaks and he falls and start wrestling this guy. That was another one where I just reached, grabbed him by the Adam's apple, and I could feel his skin. I broke through his skin. I could feel the gristle. And I just ripped that damn skin off. And he was bleeding all over him, but he didn't die. That's right. I'm sorry. He didn't die. And so then, you know, the fight's over, but I stole his wallet. You know, I went through his wallet. I figured that was worth it. $273 I got off him. And phone's ringing. And next thing, the news crew shows up, and they're like, what the heck went on here? And he's all whining about how I attacked him and everything. I'm like, Jesus. And I was a local hero for beating the hell out of Henry Rollins. You know what? That damn phone's gonna ring.
Damn wallet. I dug up a yard once, every damn inch of it, finding to plant grass. Neighbor was saying, gonna rent a rototiller. You can borrow it if you want. He's gonna do some work in his yard. And I told him, I said, there's no way, man. I said, I'm pulling up horseshoes. There were like 12 different brands of beer that was under the ground, cans and things, and I found this rubber mallet in the ground there. As I was digging it up with a shovel, shoot, shoot, I did the whole damn yard over a period of 3 years so that we wouldn't have to be walking in muck everywhere we went. I gave it time. I rotated the growth, and in the end it was beautiful. But I found this in there. It's a good rubber mallet, but it was under the ground. This was a 100-year-old house next to a cemetery that had vicious things in it that were crawling at me at night. It's amazing. Here I'm about to do a damn Halloween show, but this house I lived on, things would crawl on me if I was there at night. I worked midnight, so I was only there on the weekends, but something would come in, and even Siete, he saw him before, more than once. I can't even, maybe later I'll do a show about this. Maybe I'll do a special Halloween show about the Ingleside Terror. There was shit crawling on me. And there was the one year I didn't take the opportunity to be myself in this time when the veil is lifted, in this time of Samhain, in this time of All Hallows Evening, which is the night before All Saints' Day, where there are spirits moving. I'll talk about that one day, but that time I didn't take the opportunity to be me. I had something crawling on me. It was never anything invisible. These things were pretty realistic. Ha! Yeah, I was struggling, fighting them off you. And there are more stories that follow that equate, relate, that they objectify. I'm trying to come up with the right word. They validate these freakish things that I alone was having. But that year that I didn't just be myself, I avoided the opportunity. The thing crawling on me just had little things on the side of his face, on the side of my face, on the side of his face. Just little comment, and it was that darkest part, and it was saying, why didn't you let me out? It was the true Judas. That's what these things next to the cemetery, in the houses, on hallowed ground, feed upon, is the things that you know are already wrong, and they take that and they become it, and they know it horrifies you more and it puts you at a disadvantage. These things crawl upon us, and it didn't have to be Halloween. I mean, why do you think they buried dead people where they buried dead people? It's because it is on hallowed ground. It's because no living person can live on that ground. They put you next to a cemetery, you're right there where the tendrils are creeping out. It may come a day when all ground is unhallowed.
For another 6 minutes, I might as well play a song. What the heck? I'll go see what they want. This is God Dethroned, of course.
And as I was digging up that damn yard, I found a wallet in there, and it had a high school kid's ID, a high school ID in it from Galesburg. It's outside of Kalamazoo somewhere. And there were all these people where I worked, and I found it, and it had that, and I think that's all that was in it. And I said, some kid got murdered right up there on the hill above us on that service road between us and the cemetery, and his fucking wallet was raked clean and pitched down in the yard and under the dirt. And I needed a new wallet at the time. I was at a point where, you know, my wallet was just shot. It was beyond needing a new wallet. And I said, I need to get a new wallet. And that day I dug this up. I looked at it, I said, oh. And I find that high school kid, and I'm at work. Within a couple of days, there's a temporary worker that was there for a couple of days, and I said, you're from Galesburg? I said, you ever hear of this guy? She said, yeah, I went to high school with him. And I said, huh. I said, is he okay? I said, I had found his wallet in my yard. And she says, I saw him on Facebook the other day. And I said, okay. What the fuck was he doing? It would be more reasonable to believe he's dead and probably safer for humanity. How does a kid's wallet end up in somebody's yard and just overgrown over years and getting dug up? I don't know. Couldn't have been that long if it was just 5 years or something like that. What a weird fucking place.
Yeah, all right. Lost Cypress Distributing reminds us that the holiday season is just around the corner.
Gotta pay the bills.
And the need for a safe and secure blood supply is now with us. If you're healthy and qualified, do your part and donate blood. You protect not only yourself and your family, but the community as well. What are they gonna do? Strong arm us? Okay, you protect not only yourself and your family, but the community as well. Remember, the greatest gift you can give is the gift of life. This message is brought to you by Lost Cypress Distributing, here in San Jose on the air because they care about the people in this community. Yeah. I care about the people in the community. When they get in my way, get the hell out of the way! damn trying to get a Snickers bar, and this guy's sitting on the floor, they're all stinking it up, and you're slipping in them and everything.
It's gonna be a while.
They'd be really easy to get. If I'd have brought my grappling hook back from Michigan with me, I could just stick it in his back or shoulder and drag him outside, They'd slide easy with all that slippery stuff on them, But, I suppose, that's one of the benefits of having some sort of protective oily coating or something. You don't get abrasions on your buttocks when you get dragged out of the 7-Eleven with a grappling hook. Ducks don't really go through that. They're harder to catch with a grappling hook, but they've got that protective coating just in case. Oh, we heard God dethrone a minute ago. I don't know. Hey, Big Scott down at the Cactus Club just called me. He notified me of a show that's coming up the 7th of November. What is it? I've got things all over here. Hey, so anyway. Yeah, White Trash 10 Speed's gonna be there. San Resina. Steve Sager's old band, San Resina's gonna be there. Onos Omos, they'll be there. Bates is gonna be there. And you know what? Doors open at 9 o'clock. That's a Sunday. It's a 16 and over show at the Cactus Club. And it's only going to cost you $5 to get in. There you are. White Trash 10 Speed. Ono Somos and Bates.
Back to the show.
Enjoy yourself if you can, because nobody's going to do it for you. I wouldn't trust that to anybody. Maybe a hooker, they're paid for that. See, I kind of think that the U.S. should be more like Amsterdam and Holland. I get the feeling that those women over in Holland are like, what is it? In those European countries, how they have mandatory service for the men. You got to go in the military for a year or two and just walk around with a gun and stuff because nobody's really fighting and you get the hell out.
Compulsory.
They probably have that for the women in Amsterdam, Do a 2-year stint down in the heart of Amsterdam, servicing the men that travel and businessmen and women and stuff that really want to have a good time. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's something for everybody in Amsterdam. What do you think Anne Frank was doing there? Woo-hoo, hookers. I'm going to be getting bombed out of my shelter. I might as well have something to do, I'm sure that's what she was thinking.
Bombed out of my shelter.
I figure one of these times I'll go by her house and
Mind is a shelter.
check out her real diary. There's got to be something about hookers, maybe written on the wallpaper or something.
Bombed out of my mind.
But it seems like those people have a much better attitude towards life. If we pushed women into being hookers over here, maybe they'd be happier and understand the lower aspects of our society and how, some people are just maltreated instead of just spitting on them when they walk by. It's a terrible thing to have to do that because you got no other alternative and, nowhere to go. So we should force everybody to do it. Now, anyway, let me see. Can't talk about a hooker dream. I already did that earlier. Hey, this is Judas. You're listening to The Dawn of Betrayal special segment. It's the Halloween show, man. Getting inside my head, you're going to hear the dreams I've got of killing people and, weird things coming after me in the night. Yeah. They're trying to make me theirs, man. I used to think maybe it was that I turned my back on Jesus, that all these things were coming to kill me. But it seems they're just coming to take the badness out of me because I'm such a happy person,
Back off.
Such a good guy.
6 feet.
Nobody really understands what it's all about. So I've killed Henry Rollins. Well, no, I didn't kill him. He was whining in the background. I let him live. Jesus, why you let the guy live, Oh, we'll talk about another zombie dream. Here's another zombie dream. If you remember correctly, the zombies are always out to get you. Gotta hit them in the head twice damage their brain twice to kill them in a dream. It's not a movie, man. This is real stuff. Dream world, you know. And so here, this one, it's an archetypal dream, according to Jung. You know, he talks about these dreams where they're usually in a hole, you know, or some kind of basement type thing, or dank place with dust and stuff. What that does, it's a genetic memory. You have these dreams that remember the times when you were like Cro-Magnon man. Our genes remember living in the caves. And we have dreams that match that, but we kind of update them because it's hard to take if you really don't know what's going on. So you put it into a modern environment with zombies. So here I am. My parents have like 28 acres in Michigan. That's nothing, you know, it's just land. Sure, you do hay and everything, but we got a couple marshy swamps there. You can go, you know, shoot at birds, and Bigfoot might live in one of them. I've never actually seen them there, but I hear deer screaming in the night sometimes. But anyway, so here I am. I'm in this shack, this little shack in the middle of the damn, in the middle of the swamp there, in the middle of the marsh. There are a couple other people. I'm in there, and there's all this old cluttered stuff, and you know, things. Like there was what do you call it? One of those weaving wheels, and there's dust everywhere. I'm like, wow. You know, checking this stuff out. I never knew that thing was in there. So there's this door, and I hear, you know, this damn, what do you call it, generator going in the other room. There are other people wandering about. And I said, I gotta take a look and see what's going on in there. So I bust open that door, and all these zombies come spilling out, and it's like, you know, you take off running, and I'm running across the field, and these zombies, you know, they're not as slow as you might think. So I'm...
I was in Amsterdam, and one guy wanted to go to a porn theater. That was one of the things he wanted to do, and we said, okay, we'd go. The second time I was in Amsterdam. I'm sure I was there 3 times, but yeah. So they've got all these different places, and there's some of them have just like folding chairs that people are sitting there watching porn in a small studio. It's got a big screen, small room, and they're eating their sandwiches and just watching porn. And there are other ones that are big fucking rooms, and there are all these different fucking porn studios. Some of them are like one was like a cinema, at least one, the one I'm about to talk about. There were cinema seats, and it was a big fucking area, and there were many people, and it was packed, you know, close. And all the while I'm going in between these different theaters, little rooms and theaters, I would go by this one. I kept hearing. I've been meaning to talk about this for years, and at least 2. 7. 7. And it kept going. 7. Come here. He's run out into the rain. And I kept going by that room. And at one point, going by, and I kept thinking there must be a generator in there. I thought it was like a boiler room, something going. And at one point I ran into a few of these people that there were like 4 of us, so we ran into each other kind of at the same time. Let's go in there, I guess. Somebody opened the door, and it was a big studio with theater seats and people all over sitting down and watching this, and it was a vibrator porn, and it was just, what the fuck is that? Just, it was going on constantly. And I said, well, fuck. And so I was the first one down the aisles, and I went about halfway down, and I sat down, and I'm sitting there, and out of the corners of my eyes, I could just, it looked like there were people masturbating with giant, like, dildo-sized penises all, like, around, and I was like, ah! I hadn't seen that in any of the other places. I had to get up, and I got the hell, and I was walking back up the aisle, and there comes Kevin. He's the first in line of the 3 of them. I said, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. And I just kept going. I didn't stop to talk about it, and they just followed me. I said, that was the weirdest fucking room. This is where all the power comes from. This is the generator.
Little shack in the middle of the damn, in the middle of the swamp there, in the middle of the marsh. There are a couple other people. I'm in there, and there's all this old cluttered stuff, and things. Like there was what do you call it? One of those weaving wheels, and there's dust everywhere. I'm like, wow. Checking this stuff out. I never knew that thing was in there. So there's this door, and I hear, this damn, what do you call it, generator going in the other room. There are other people wandering about. And I said, well, I gotta take a look and see what's going on in there. So I bust open that door, and all these zombies come spilling out, and it's like, you take off running, and I'm running across the field. And these zombies, they're not as slow as you might think. So I'm running across this damn field towards my house, and there's this bald-headed zombie running like right alongside me. He's like, bah, trying to get me, and he's fast, and he's lucid. And I had a roommate at the time. I was at Michigan State. He was a bug collector, he was an entomologist. And he had this little pick-handled axe. It's like a hammer, but it's a pick. You dig stumps apart with it. I pulled that thing out from behind my back, and I hit him in the head with it. He was like, and you gotta hit him again. So I stuck that thing right in his damn left eyeball, and I pried it in his little eye, the skull right there between his eyes. That popped out, and his brains all fell out, and he died. And I was like, wow. And I kept going on up to the house. There was this vampire-looking woman, and she's standing there out by the back patio, and she's standing there, and she's luring me to her. And I'm like, wow, she's not bad. So I'm going up there.
Long black hair.
And I'm like, how do I know I can trust you? She might have been a zombie lying about being a vampire. And she said, you can't. And I went to her, and that was the end of the dream. So, who knows? Maybe I'm a zombie. Maybe I'm dead. But, well, there's another zombie for you. As far as archetypal dreams go, I had another one. I was in my grandfather's barn. And there's all this dust and everything, early morning light, hay everywhere, chafe. And there's this pile of human bones laying over in the corner, and I'm sitting there, and they start going... I'm like, what? And they start shaking, and they're telling me things. I'm like, wow. And so there's another archetypal dream. You just remember bones and things like that. Or big rats. Sometimes I'm in a big hole in the ground, and big-ass rats and woodchucks talking to you. I have the bears chasing me sometimes. Those damn bears. Panda bears are usually there, too. Telling you to kill somebody, And usually it's not somebody you mind killing. So, yeah, I'll kill that person for you. Just don't kill me. Get me out of the river, Damn crazy talking bear. They're not dancing, they're talking. Get that thing out of here. They don't do what they're supposed to do it all half the time. But, what else? I don't know. There goes that zombie dream. Might as well do another desert dream. I was in the desert, and I had this dream, you know. Here I am. I'm back home in Michigan in the dream. And I'm flying down North Ohio Street, just flying down the road, you know, chasing this other car. I'm with Morgan Freeman. We come barreling around the corner. That guy makes the corner, and Morgan flips the car over. Here we are, rolling through the damn yard. Get out, what the heck? Let's go! We start walking down the street, get down by St. Mary's Catholic School down by the railroad tracks, and there's this guy just walking down the railroad tracks. And that was the guy we were chasing. And Morgan Freeman's standing there, and he says, well, shoot him. And I'm like, well, geez, I picked up my rifle, and I'm pointing it right at the guy's back. I said, And this is like a turning point, kind of, because I wasn't ready to kill somebody until I really had to, I suppose. It's a terrible thing. That was before I knew how sad I was going to be about not killing anybody in the desert, you know, when it's legal. You can't just come here and start killing people. So now I'll never know what it's like. People are like, hey, you know, so I didn't shoot the guy. I just said, no, I can't. I'm not ready yet. And he said, all right. And he picked up his gun. Boom! Blood blew the guy away. He's laying there dead bleeding. But here's the thing. Everybody's always like, hey, man, you don't want to kill anybody. You don't. You don't want to do it, man. It's like, well, you know what? Here's the way I look at it. I mean, it's illegal now, sure. Can't kill anybody unless somebody sneaks into your house with an automatic weapon or something. Then you even have to drag them back in the house. Yeah, there are bullets holes everywhere. What do you think, man? Drag that body back in the house. But they're like, they say that, and I'm like, well, you know what? People are always telling me I don't want to be in a tornado either. Oh, you don't want to be in a tornado? Oh, man, I've seen tornadoes. You don't want to be in a tornado? How do you know? You know, so I could either do one of two things and it'll take care of the other. If I kill somebody and I feel really bad about it afterwards, then I'll know, geez, I probably really don't want to be in a tornado like they said. Or if I'm in a tornado and I get set down, I'm like, whoo-hoo, what a ride. I'll probably have to go out and kill somebody because it wasn't that bad after all. You know, so there's that. I'm going to go ahead and play a song. This is Testament off The Gathering. Yeah. The Eyes. The Eyes of Wrath. Here it is. Yeah, all right, whatever. There we are. Analyst International Corporation reminds the women of our communities that breast cancer is the leading cause of death for women between the ages of 35 to 52. In the past 30 years, incidences of breast cancer among women has more than doubled, emphasizing the need for frequent self-examinations and screening mammograms for women over 40. Early diagnosis gives you a greater chance for successful treatment, so schedule an appointment today. It could save your life. This message is a courtesy of Analysts International Corporation, on the air, concerned with the health and safety of the women in our communities. Yeah. So there they are, Analysts Corporation. They're helping us out. They love everybody. I'm telling you what. And you know what? Who else loves everybody?
Women.
It's Can Copy Print.
Oh.
Oh my God. Cut not found.
Goes the last.
Well, they're there. I know they're there.
Jeopardy question.
There it is. Can Copy Print. Serving San Jose and its area for some amount of years. KS.
Fucking made it work.
I don't know if this is going to work or not. We've got Joel with the news, sports news right now. What do you think of that, Joel?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. The headline was the football game, the homecoming football game from this past weekend, where San Jose State was supposed to play SMU, but the power blew out, so there was no game.
No!
It's a shame.
Play in the mud, man. What do they usually do?
They can't play in the dark for some reason. I don't know.
Headlights.
Yeah, so that game will be rescheduled if it's needed, which it probably won't be. That's only if both those teams need it to go to a bowl game or something, and they probably won't. So the football team will be at University of Texas, El Paso next Saturday. Women's soccer, they clinched a WAC playoff berth with a 2-1 win at the University of Texas, El Paso. The women's soccer will finish in the top 4 in the WAC, and the top 4 teams go to the WAC tournament on November 3rd through 6th in Dallas, Texas. Men's soccer did not do as well. They had their second straight 3-2 loss in overtime to Fresno State at Spartan Stadium. The men's soccer team will be at Tulsa on Friday. The women's golf team finished 6th out of 18 teams at the Stanford Women's Intercollegiate Tournament. So that was a good finish for them. Tulsa University finished first in that tournament. Moving to volleyball. They beat TCU last Friday, but lost to SMU on Saturday. That was their first loss in WAC play. They'll play second place Hawaii on, what day is that? That will be on Friday at Spartan Gym at 7:30. That's all for Spartan Sports. Real fast, the Sharks have the best record in the NHL despite losing 3 games. They'll be at home on Thursday against Nashville, and the World Series continues tonight with Game 3. The Yankees are up 2-0 on Atlanta, and they're coming back to New York.
Hey.
Hey, yeah.
That's the World Series?
That's the World Series, yeah.
Well, you know, I just turned on the TV the other night. I saw them playing baseball, and they looked pretty good. And I was like, gosh, these guys, no wonder they're getting paid so much. I wonder when the World Series is. I never know what the hell's going on, man. I'm going to tell you what. If it weren't for this show, I wouldn't have known that the World Series was going on.
That's what I'm here for.
I never miss the World Series. Jack Nicholson sitting in the damn loony bin going, even when I was in the can, we watched the World Series.
That's right.
We have a riot, he says, like that's supposed to be an argument for them to watch the World Series in there. Then he starts yelling off play-by-play, and Nurse Ratchet gets all angry, and, you know, next thing you know, he's getting his head cut open, and the big Indians smothering him and throwing a damn thing through the window and running off into the wilderness. The World Series! Anyway, the Detroit Tigers are playing tonight, and I never miss a game.
RoboCop.
Anyway, that's RoboCop. Hey, you still there?
Right on. I'm ready to get this. All right.
All right. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks for calling with the sports.
No problem.
I'm going to just go ahead and play a song because there's that. Woo! He didn't even say goodbye, man. You know, I don't know. If he gets hit by a bus tomorrow, I'm going to be sitting there going, man, I was just talking to him on the phone. And he didn't even say goodbye. It was like I knew he was going to be gone forever. Watch out for those buses, Joel. And while you're at it, listen to this. This is Dark Tranquility doing their song called Undue Control. I got no control. Yeah! 90.5 FM KSJS San Jose. You're listening to Judas. Looking outside. It's the dawn of betrayal. Special Halloween edition. I'm just telling a bunch of stories, man. Yeah, I figure what the heck. It's Halloween. I'll try and scare somebody. So I'm telling you the scary thoughts that go on inside my head while I'm asleep and the freakish things that come after me while I'm awake, man. There's all kinds of crap going on. I don't know what's going on. I know that there's a spirit world and it's after me. But, what do we got?
That's pretty deep.
Oh, there's that. Yeah, okay. I'll tell some kind of presence in the corner. Well, you know what? I'll tell a couple stories here. There's one. I seem to get attacked in the army by spirits from the otherly realm, you know. And there's this one guy I knew, Hodge, when I was in the army. I told him about that guy coming after me in my sleep, that spirit. He told me that it was trying to steal my soul, man. It was called a MIB, a man in black, before Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones started screwing around with some alien movie. I guess there are these spirits that come after you, and they steal your soul. And he says if I hadn't been sucked back into my body right before he grabbed a hold of me, shut my eyes to proclaim me dead, you know, he'd have had my spirit and I'd have been dead. But no, I came back. So anyway, he gets these, like, they're kind of like tarot cards, you know, but they're called the deck of the seven fallen angels, some kind of Egyptian deck. And he's flipping these cards out, not the guy that was trying to steal my soul, Hodge. He's flipping these cards out, and it's like, all right. When we played the Ouija board all the time and stuff, talking to dead people and things, they always say it's really cold in hell. Every time you're going into a show, like the other night I was going in that damn exotic erotic thing, and I'm walking in there, all these people lined up with little homemade signs and stuff, and this guy's standing there going, sad, sad, sad. And I thought he was making commentaries on costumes, and I looked at him, and this guy's standing there, I look at all the other knuckleheads with their signs, and I said, Judas was a true Messiah! And they said, oh, you're gonna burn in hell! And I just looked at them, I laughed. I said, and they all kind of feel self-conscious and look at themselves, go, oh my God, you know, what are we doing out here? But, so here I am.
Ta-da.
And the Ouija board says it's not hot in hell, it's cold. It's a very cold place. They're always like, cold. They're always complaining about the cold, I don't know.
Michigan.
Which makes sense because it was hell living through Michigan winters. But, so Hodge gets this deck of the seven fallen angels casting these things about. I don't know what's going on. Huh? You? Huh? I don't know. So we're like, screw it, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I went to my room, you know, to go to sleep.
I don't know this.
I go to bed. I wake up in the middle of the night, just one of those wide awake dreams, you know. I mean, not dreams, wide awake reality, you know. In the middle of the night, you're like, what the? Something going on. And I'm really alert and wondering what it is, and I can feel the presence. Up in the corner of the room, there's just this seeping, malevolent presence sitting up in the corner of the room. And I'm just like, what the hell? And I'm laying there for about an hour, and it was just evil. And I really couldn't go to sleep because this thing was affecting me. And finally, I drifted off to sleep. Next day, I go downstairs to Hodge. I'm like, dude, you never believe what happened. And he's like, was there something in the corner of your room? And I'm like, what? He said, there was something in the corner of my room, too. So there are evil things coming to the corners of the room. And just like a couple weeks ago, I've got this magic science and religion class. This guy came in to talk to us about some culture. I'm not going to talk about it because he said he doesn't want this recording anything. He's working on his PhD and things like that. Something might slip. But, so I won't say anything about him. But, he said that corners of rooms, crossroads, and things like that, they're passageways to the underworld. The underworld is not like hell or heaven. There's no hell and heaven for this culture. It's just the underworld. And everybody's sad and desolate when they're there because they're absent of life, of course.
Like in the
But he says, so things come in and out through these corners of the rooms. And sometimes if you just wake up, you look up into the corner of the room and you can see like a black, like a foggy thing. So, after all these years of being sucked up into the corner, like when that thing was trying to steal my soul, I was sucked up in the corner of the room watching. If that thing would have gotten killed me, I'd have been sucked through the corner of the room, I suppose, and taken to the underworld. But no, I was too fast for it. Yeah, I was in the army. I mean, you're going to get killed in the army by a spirit? Hell no. I mean, if you can't beat the spirits, you can't beat the corporeal bastards running around with knives and stuff, I wouldn't think. But, so there's that. But, I suppose that all leads... I don't know. I don't know if I want to tell that thing or not right now. Well, I did have a dream of going to heaven when I was a kid once. I was probably 10, 11 years old, and I had this dream.
Oh.
Just soaring over a pasture. Ooh, you know, it's all beautiful and everything and pretty, green. And it's like, my gosh, how peaceful. And I come upon this house. And I'm like, wow, there's this farmhouse out in the middle of this field, you know, in the rolling hills. And I land and I go inside, you know, And there's my grandma there and other members of the family that are dead. And she's cooking, baking, pies and stuff. And everybody's so happy. And I said, what the hell? I was really upset. I was like, this is all heaven has to offer me, hanging out with my family? You think that's heaven? That's hell, man. I mean, why do I want to go hang out with a bunch of people that... What the hell's going on, man? Oh, no. All right. These people are dead. Why do I want to hang out with them? I mean, what happens if you go to touch them and their skin falls off or something? It's just a bad situation all around. But the thing is, that was years ago. And the other day, last Tuesday, I get up and I watch the worship channel when I'm eating my omelet. I turn it all the way down and I crank up black metal and just watch the fields rolling. These people coming across fields, roar! You expect somebody to come running out chasing a guy and a woman, hold the man down, cut him open, and take and beat up the woman because, these are black metal Viking people. That's the type of thing you'd expect them to do. So I keep waiting for it to happen. And all of a sudden, we're going across this green pasture. And I'm like, hey, man, this looks really familiar. And I sat up and I'm looking. And I got an image of that house in my head that I had in my dream. I got ready for it. Because when you get deja vu, you're like, oh, wow, man, deja vu. You gotta think what's coming, Because otherwise, you see it and it's like, oh, yeah, it was just like that thing that I did. There's no proving that that's a deja vu, man. It's just that you had this weird sense, and there it is. You saw it. Now you're remembering it. And you're just making up the memory for the other thing. Unless you predict what's coming, it's not really anything spectacular. So here I am.
I hadn't read Jung's synchronicity yet when I was talking about this in about 1999.
The house is coming. I imaged it in my head. And as it rolled across, there's the house. Exact same house. Sitting there in the field.
I will go back. You can't take somebody in the middle of a thought and add another one. Why do you think the beginning of the show started off so jacky? It was because I had different ideas. It was like an ambiguity. I had one, and I said, okay, and then I said, oh, and which one was better? It was an ambiguity. I couldn't see both sides of the situation. I couldn't, though I was there at the cusp in the passing and keeping the memory of the other one. With the new one, I would lose the last one, no matter how hard I tried. So, don't forgive me. I think I got it right. I think I worked it out in the end. It wasn't easy.
You're just making up the memory for the other thing. Unless you predict what's coming, it's not really anything spectacular. So here I am. I said the house is coming. I imaged it in my head. And as it rolled across, there's the house. Exact same house. Sitting there in the field, and I said, son of a bitch. The worship channel. And I was dreaming of heaven, and there it is. So, there it is. I did it. There was another time when I was still selling shoes when I first got out here waiting to get my damn state residency so I could start up school for cheap. And I was driving truck and selling steel-toe boots out of the back of it. This Harley dude comes up and he's like, oh yeah, these are really nice boots, these Harley Davidsons, and I looked at him and I was, you always got to make small talk as you're walking up and down the aisles. And when he said that, I knew that he didn't have a Harley Davidson. He looked like he did. Every indication that he did. He was admiring the Harley Davidson boots, which people who drive Harleys do. They get the steel-toe boots. All right, great, woo, look at my boots. But I knew that he didn't have a Harley. And I imaged the damn conversation in my head, what I was supposed to say. I said, you got a bike? I said, you got a Harley? And he looks, he says, oh, no. And I said, yeah, I knew that. You know, that was the first time I ever beat one of those deja vus to the punch. And the whole conversation after that, I knew it was coming. I don't remember exactly what it was now, but there it was, you know. You got to be on top of it, otherwise you'll miss your chance to prove the truth. The spirit world. Anyway, what else we got? Hell.
Ain't a bad place to be.
Well, let me tell you. God and the devil, they're after me all the time. There are people walking in and out. Ken Kibby's after me, too.
Kibby.
Jeez. Wednesday mornings, you can listen to COD Kenny and Steve Sanger. Yeah. What? Don't. Anyway, so, what the hell? I'm sleeping, you know. On the floor. I used to sleep on the floor for about a year and a half. I had a studio apartment. I'm like, screw it. I'm not getting furniture because I'm going to be moving. You're going to have me hauling furniture everywhere? So I just slept on the floor. It's good for you. Girls would freak out if they ever came over, but you know, whatever. I'm the one living there, right? So, here I am. I'm sleeping. And all of a sudden, I'm in the middle of a field, Nebraska, it seems, corn, down, getting out of my car on this dirt path going up through the middle of the night. And I see this, like, golden arch thing. It's not like a damn French fry or anything from McDonald's. It's an arc. You know, boom, it's lighting, touching down, flying up in the sky, coming down, flying up in the sky, coming down. And I'm telling you what, they're still after me to be a priest. So this thing's coming, I walk out away from it, and it's coming to me. And it stopped in front of me, and it's just immense. It's probably 100 feet high, this glowing golden arc.
Oh my gosh. And so, this dream stuck with me. It stuck with me for so long. And as I was driving the shoe truck and I was dealing with the Wrigley's factory in Santa Cruz, I had a couple hours off. And I said, well, I'll find something to do. And I went and I found a used bookstore. And I walked into this place just like any you'd imagine. You'd never find anything you're looking for. Because it's so good. There's just so much stuff. They can't keep up. And you walk in and you see right there, The History of Life by H.G. Wells and his son, Dr. Wells, and some other guy. There's a compilation book that's there. And I said, I gotta have it. Turns out it's worth $150 right now. That's nothing. It's nothing. I'm just curious because I know that's gotta be a book worthy of note. So I looked at it to see how much note it was worth. And I took that up to the counter and I put it down. And I saw on the damn counter there a book of dreams and interpretations, which I don't buy into after many, many years of looking. I'm like, generally they are directed toward the, I believe it's anima versus animus, male versus, or female, anima versus animus, female versus male. I'm not sure about that. I don't have it available. these books, they're generally directed towards women psychology, and it's not just that doesn't make it work. It's the idea that every one of us is a different person. We have our own understanding of life, and so we have different experiences. But I bought this dream interpretations book. It was little, and in there later, I bought that after the history of life because I want to be able to get a house with a basement one day where I can have that and I can start life from the start to see how it would go if you raised it in the belief that most people are decent and it's okay to beat the fuck out of those that aren't. But you don't get to decide what's decent. Your DNA does. Putting a cigarette out. Putting things together, I'm kind of forgetting that I'm not talking anymore. I'm just keeping things together over here. I start thinking about different things at sometimes. And if I've talked this long and I haven't got my point across, then maybe it's just time to stop. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Samhain, All Saints Day, everything, everywhere you want to be.